Shalom and welcome to Yeshiva B'nai Noach. I'm Tom Averna. This is the Beginning Biblical Hebrew course. As we conclude chapter 19, Commands and Numbers, we'll be dealing with Tall Tales and Ruth in this video. Here's a look at our vocabulary. Quite a few new words, although in actuality, a lot of these words you probably can already figure out. You know the verbs and the tenses. Anyway, let's go through it. So sleeping, as a noun, feminine singular, yeshena, yeshena. To give birth to, yalad, or yud lamed dalet. Mishteh, a feast or a banquet. Bracha, brachot. Birchat, a blessing. Beautiful, yafa, yafa. Came, vayavo, vatavo, vayavo'u, and you, feminine singular, will die. Tamuti, you, feminine singular, will sleep. Tishni, they will sleep. Yishnu, she slept. Yashna, they slept. Yashnu, they are sleeping. Yishenim, yishenim, and to lie down. Shachav, or shin, kaf, bet. And kissed. Vayishach, vayishach. And last one is marriage canopy. Should be familiar with this word. Chuppah, chuppah, symbol of a wedding. So let's begin. We'll read the Hebrew first, and then we'll come back and translate. And as always, the translations are also available to you on Quizlet. So be sure and check that out if you need to. Well, let's go ahead and begin. This is Sleeping Beauty, or the sleeping daughter of the king, the sleeping princess. Vayehi bayamim hahem, vayeshvu melech ve'ishto bevetam hagadol betoch artzam. Lahem kesef v'zahav kelim rabim va'avadim tovim. Ach banim uvanut ein lahem. Vayhi acharei eser shanim yalda eshet hamelech bat ketana v'hem ahavu ota me'od me'od. Vaya'ash hamelech mishteh gadol levito hakatana. So another note to pass along before we begin the translation. Again, for those of you that are not immediately joining in on the class, this note will be kind of timely or untimely for you. But Quizlet, thanks to AI, it never used to have a Hebrew. In other words, Quizlet has an automatic translation or automatic voice for the English. That's always been there for Quizlet. But they never had one for Hebrew, so I've always done the Hebrew on there. But recently, so in some of the later works, I think from 18 on, you should be able to hear, matter of fact, it might go back to all of them, I don't know, but you should be able to hear the Quizlet's voice, and it's actually sounds very good, but it's very, as it should be, it's very fast. So it may be difficult to follow, but it's fun to listen to. So again, I do go slow for two reasons. One, for beginners as well as for myself, to try and make sure I pronounce everything correctly. But again, if you want to go to Quizlet, look up in chapter 19 on Quizlet, Tall Tales. Then you can click in the upper right corner, I think it is. You'll see the speaker icon, and if you click on that, then you'll hear a wonderful, sounds Israeli to me, AI voice reading the Hebrew. So you might want to head there and see what you think of that if you haven't been there already. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. And it came to pass in those days, a king and his wife lived in their large house within their land. They had silver and gold, and well, there's no and here, but many vessels and good servants. But they did not have sons and daughters. Literally, sons and daughters were not to them, but remember we learned that you can turn this into have, they have. Right. Continuing. And it came to pass after 10 years, the wife of the king gave birth to a little daughter. And they loved her very, very much. And the king made a great feast for his small daughter. Continuing on again, this is all on page 203 in your book, or at least it begins on 203. Vayishlach hamelech et ha-malachim asher yichra'u lechol ha'anashim betoch gevulam. Vayomru b'shem hamelech hine למלך בת. בעוד 5 ימים יהיה משתה גדול בבית המלך. לכו למשתה ותנו מנחה לבת המלך. So the king sent the messengers who would call out to all the people within their border. And they said, in the name of the king, behold, the king has a daughter, or to the king is a daughter. The king has a daughter is the right way to translate that. In 5 more days, there will be a great feast in the house of the king. Go to the feast and give a gift to the princess, to the daughter of the king. But princess, 2 ways you can translate that either way. Okay. ויקראו המלאכים גם לשיבת הרוחות הטובים, אך לא קראו לרוח הרע האחד אשר ישב בארץ. ויהי ביום המשתה וכל אנשי הארץ עומדים בבית המלך. וישב המלך על כיסא הכבוד, ויאמר לאשתו, ראי את כל האנשים מארצנו, ואת כל המנחות לביתנו הקטנה. So the messengers also called out to the 7 good spirits, ruach, spirits. But they did not call out to the one bad or evil spirit who lived in the land. And it was the day of the feast, and all the people of the land were standing in the house of the king. The king was sitting on the throne of honor, and he said to his wife, "See, all of the people from our land and all the presents or gifts for our little daughter." Gam Shivat Haruchot HaTovim B'Mishte Lechol Echad Yesh Bracha Kamincha Lebat Hamelech. So also the 7 good spirits are in or at the feast. Each one has a blessing as a gift for the princess, Bar Hamelech. Spirit 1 proclaimed, "May you be good." Spirit 2 proclaimed, "May you be beautiful." Spirit 3 proclaimed, "May you be wise." I don't remember if I read the Hebrew. Just in case, I'm going to read it again. I think I did. Anyway, well, doesn't hurt. Do it again. Gam Shivat HaRuchot HaTovim B'Mishte Lechol Echad Yesh Bracha. Yeah, I did read it. B'Mincha Levat Hamelech. Old age is fun. Okay, I did read it. I'm pretty sure I did. Let's continue on then. And also, by the way, we're moving to page 204 if you're trying to follow in the book. Okay. Vayikra Ruach Arba'ah Tihi Tzadika. Vayikra Ruach HaMisha or Chamisha Yeye Lach Kesef V'Zahav. Vayikra Ruach Shisha Yeyu Lach Torah. Chupa U'Ma'asim Tovim. Vayavo LaMishte HaRuach Hara HaEchad Vayomer Lo Geratem Li LaMishte Hazeh. So Spirit 4 proclaimed, "May you be righteous." Spirit 5 proclaimed, "May you have silver and gold." Spirit 6 proclaimed, "May you have Torah, a marriage canopy, and good deeds." And the one evil spirit came to the feast and said, "You did not call me to this feast." To this feast. Continuing. Ach gam liyesh bracha lebat hamelech. Etain la bracha ra'ah vehine hi kasher tehi bat shesh esrei shana tiri isha zekena betoch beit hamelech. Ha'isha hazot titein lach cherev zahav kasher tichi et hacherev dam yetze miyadech ve'az damuti. But I also have a blessing for the princess. I will give to her an evil blessing. And here it is. When you will be 16 years old, you will see an old woman within the house of the king. This woman will give you a sword of gold. When you take the sword, blood will flow from your hand and you will die. Vayetze haruach hara acharei ha-devarim ha'ele min ha-mishte. Vayikra ruach shiva zot bracha ra'ah me'od ach ani od lo natati bracha. Gam li yesh bracha levat hamelech. Etain la bracha tova vehine hi bracha hachayim. Lo tamuti ach tishni mea shana v'kol anshe beit hamelech yishnu imach. So after these words, the evil spirit went out from the feast. And you could translate that in a slightly different order, it would still be fine. And Spirit 7 proclaimed, "This is a very evil blessing." But I have not given a blessing. I also have a blessing for the princess. I will give to her a good blessing. And here it is. The blessing of life. You will not die, but you will sleep for 100 years, and all of the people of the house of the king will sleep with you. ואחרי 100 שנה יעמוד לפנייך בן מלך. הוא ייקח את ידך, ואז תעלי לחיים, וגם כל אנשי בית המלך יעלו לחיים עמך. ויהי אחרי יום המשתה, ויאמר המלך אל העבדים, לכו מגבול אל גבול, וקחו כל חרב אשר בארצנו, ושמרו אותם במקום אשר איש לא ידע, וכן עשו. And after 100 years, a prince will stand before you. He will take your hand, and then you will rise to life. And also, all of the people of the house of the king will rise to life with you. And it was after the day of the feast, and the king said to the servants, go from border to border and take all of the swords which are in our land, and guard them in the place which no person would know. And thus they did, and so they did. ויהי אחרי 16 שנה, והנה בת המלך גדולה ויפה, חכמה וטובה. אביה ואמה אוהבים אותה מאוד. ויעשו המלך ואשתו משתה לבת המלך. ותבוא למשתה אישה זקנה, ובידה חרב זהב. ותרא את בת המלך, ותאמר לה, שלום לך בת המלך יפה. And behold, after 16 years, the princess was big, or grown up, and beautiful, wise, and good. Her father and her mother loved her very much. The king and his wife made a feast for the princess, an old woman came to the feast, and in her hand was a sword of gold. She saw the princess, and she said to her, "Peace to you, beautiful princess. Yesh li cherev zahav, kechi oto kamincha." ותאמר בת המלך, לא ראיתי דבר כזה. ותיקח בת המלך את חרב הזהב בידה, ודם יצא מידה, ותשכב על האדמה, והיא ישנה, וכל אנשי בית המלך ישנו עמה. I have a sword of gold. Take it as a present. The princess said, I have never seen a thing like this. And the princess took the sword of gold in her hand, and blood came out from her hand, or of her hand, came out of her hand. And She lay down on the ground, and all of the people of the house of the king slept with her. All right, so we're on page 205. I didn't change these up here, but trying to follow along in the book as well. So this is at the top of page 205 if you're, again, trying to follow in the book. אחרי הדברים האלה היו עצים גדולים על יד בית המלך סביב. וישמרו כל שבעת הרוחות הטובים על בית המלך 100 שנה. אחרי 100 שנה ויהי בארץ ההיא בן מלך טוב וחכם בן 20 שנה. הוא שמע על בת המלך אשר שוכבת וישנה, וישנה בבית המלך בין עצים גדולים. So after these things, there were large trees all around the house of the king. And all 7 good spirits watched or guarded over the house of the king for 100 years. After 100 years, well, let's start with the verb. And it came to pass after 100 years in that land there was a good and wise prince. Who was 20 years old. 20 years old. He heard about the princess who was lying down and sleeping in the house of the king among large trees. ויאמר בליבו אמצא את הנערה הזאת. שמעתי מאבי כי בת המלך הזאת יפה, טובה, חכמה וצדיקה וגם יש לה כסף וזהב רב. וידע כי הוא ימצא אותה. וילך בין המלך ימים רבים ולילות רבים. לא אכל לחם ולא שתה מים. And he said in his heart, I will find this young woman. I heard from my father that this princess is beautiful, good, wise, and righteous. And also, she has a lot of silver and gold. So, okay. He knew that he would find her, and the prince walked many days and many nights. He did not eat. He did not eat bread, and he did not drink water. אך זכר את דברי אביו על בת המלך, וילך אחריה בכל לבבו. ויהי אחרי 20 יום ו20 לילה בדרך. וירא בן המלך שדה גדול, ובתוכו עצים גדולים, ובתוכם בית. ויעבור אל העצים, וימצא את שער הבית, ויפתח אותו. וירא בן המלך בתוך הבית אנשים רבים ישנים. אז הוא ידע כי שם ימצא גם את בת המלך. But he remembered the words of his father about the princess, and he went after her with all his heart. And it came to pass, after 20 days and 20 nights on the road, the prince saw a large field, and in the midst of it there were large trees, and in the middle of them a house. And he crossed over the trees, or over to the trees, rather, And he found the gate of the house, and he opened it. And the prince saw within the house many people sleeping. Then he knew that there he would find also the princess. Vayar v'hinei hi shochevet al ha'adama v'hi od yafa me'od. Vayar ben Hamelech et ha'chelev v'et hadam. Vayamod lifnei bat Hamelech. Vayikach et yada beyado v'yishach la. Vata'al bat Hamelech ha'yafa lachayim. Vaya'alu kol anshe beit Hamelech lechayim ima. So, and behold, he saw she was lying on the ground, and she was very beautiful. She was still very beautiful. The prince saw the sword and the blood, and he stood in front of the princess. He took her hand in his hand, and he kissed her. And the beautiful princess arose to life. And all of the people of the house of the king arose to life with her. Vayava'u shivat ha-ruchot hatovim vayomru me'a shanim avru ha-bracha hara'ah gam avra zot ha'et liv rachot tovot v'kein haya vayihu vayiyu leven hamelech hazeh ulbat hamelech hazot Torah chupa u'ma'asim tovim. So the 7 good spirits came, and they said, 100 years have passed. The evil blessings, or blessing, also has passed. This is the time for the good blessings, for the good blessings, plural. And so it was. And it came to pass for this prince, and this princess. Let's see, not for. And it came to pass to this prince and to this princess, for they had the Torah, and they had a wedding canopy and good deeds. And they lived happily ever after. And that's the story of the sleeping princess, daughter of the king. And of course, if you're my age and you're reading Sleeping Beauty, then you see colorful little fairies flying around and lots of wonderful music and all of that good stuff. But if you're not, then I don't know what you see. All right, there's Tall Tales. Well, let's continue on now. This is from page 206. This is Ruth, and this is from chapter 2, verses 8 through 12. Hebrew. First, Vayomer Boaz el Ruth. Shim'i beti al telchi lelkot b'sadeh acher v'gam lo ta'avri mizeh v'ko tiyeh im ha'na'arot enayich b'sadeh asher yikzoru v'halacht. There it goes. Acharehen amarti el hana'arim lo lingoa bach v'halacht el ha-kelim v'shatit. So, and Boaz said to Ruth, listen, my daughter. Don't go to glean. Don't go to glean in the field, in another field. Don't go to glean in another field. And also, do not cross over from this one. And so, and thus, you will be with the young women, or the harvesters. Your eyes will be on the field which they will harvest, and you will go after them, the women. I said to the young men, do not, or not to touch you. You may go to the vessels and you may drink. So the vessels of water. V'tishtachu arza v'tomer elev madua מצאתי חן בעיניך ואנוכי נכריע. ויען בועז ויאמר לה, שמעתי כל אשר עשית עם נעמי אחרי מות אישן ותצאי מבית אביך ומבית אמך ומארץ מולדתך ותלכי אל עם אשר לא ידעת. ישלם אדוני לך על מעשייך הטובים. So, and she bowed down to the earth, and she said to him, why have I found chen, favor, in your eyes, and I am a foreigner, and Boaz said to her, I heard all that you did with Naomi after the death of your husband, and you went out from the house of your father and your mother and from the land of your birth, and you went to a people who you did not know. May Adonai reward you. May Adonai reward your good deeds, or reward on. May Adonai reward to you on your good deeds, or reward your good deeds. Okay, that's the book of Ruth, chapter 2, verses 8 through 12 on page 206 in your book, 206 and 207. And with that, we conclude chapter 19, Commands and Numbers. So thanks for joining me. See you here next time for Yeshiva B'nai Noach. I'm Tom Averna. Shalom.